I sit alone in a stark nursing home room on my 65th birthday. My son Gerald dropped me off 3 hours ago, promising to return after running errands. The staff already told me he signed long-term admission papers. My belongings fit in 2 small bags. Through the window, I watch families visiting other residents, bringing balloons and cake. My phone shows no messages. The realization hits hard. My only child, the boy I raised alone after his father died, just abandoned me on the day I needed him most. The afternoon drags on. I keep checking my phone, refreshing it over and over, hoping to see Gerald's name appear with some explanation. Anything. Even a lie would be better than this silence. But there is nothing. At 4 o'clock, I call him. The phone rings once and goes to voicemail. I leave a message, trying to keep my voice steady. Gerald, honey, it is Mom. I am still here at the facility. When are you coming back to get me? Please call me. I wait an hour. Nothing. I call again. Same result. Voicemail. By 6 o'clock, a staff member brings me a dinner tray. She is young, maybe 25, with tired eyes and a forced smile. Her name tag reads, Carol. Here you go, Mrs. Patterson. Meatloaf tonight. Thank you, dear. But there has been a mistake. My son is coming back to get me. I am just visiting today. Carol's smile falters. She glances away. Let me get the administrator for you. 10 minutes later, a woman in her 50s appears. She is tall, thin, with steel gray hair pulled back tight. Her expression is cold, professional. The name tag on her crisp white blouse says Helen. Mrs. Patterson, I understand you have some questions. Yes. My son Gerald brought me here this morning just to look around. He said we were exploring options for the future, but the staff keeps acting like I am staying. When is he coming back? Helen sits in the chair across from my bed, folding her hands in her lap. Mrs. Patterson, your son completed all the admission paperwork this morning. He paid for 6 months up front. You are a resident here now. The room tilts. What? No, there must be some mistake. I never agreed to stay here. I have my own apartment. I am perfectly fine living on my own. Your son explained that you have been having some difficulties managing on your own. He felt this was the best option for your safety and well-being. That is not true. I am fine. I manage just fine. My voice rises, panic creeping in. Helen's expression does not change. Would you like to see the paperwork? You signed the admission forms yourself this morning. She produces a folder from under her arm and opens it. There, on official letterhead, are forms with my signature. I remember Gerald handing me papers during our tour, saying they were just informational, that I needed to sign to receive the brochures and pricing information. I trusted him, but I did not know what I was signing. He tricked me. Helen closes the folder. I am sorry you are upset, Mrs. Patterson. This is a difficult transition for everyone, but your son has your best interests at heart. Give it a few days. You might find you like it here. She stands and leaves before I can argue further. I sit on the bed, hands shaking. My son. The boy I carried for 9 months. The child I nursed through fevers and nightmares. The teenager I worked 2 jobs to feed and clothe after his father died of a heart attack at 45. The young man I put through college, selling my house to cover the tuition his scholarships did not pay. That son just locked me in a nursing home on my birthday. The memories flood back. After my husband died 20 years ago, Gerald was only 10. I worked as a secretary during the day and cleaned offices at night. I was exhausted all the time, but I never complained in front of Gerald. I wanted him to have everything. When he graduated college and started his business consulting company 5 years ago, I was so proud. Last year, when he said the business needed capital to expand, I sold my house without hesitation and gave him $40,000. I moved into a small 1-bedroom apartment, telling myself it was temporary, that Gerald would pay me back once the business took off. But he never paid me back. And 3 months ago, when I mentioned needing help with my rent, he got angry. Said I was pressuring him. Said business was slower than expected. His wife Diane got on the phone and told me I was being selfish, that they had 2 children to support. I have not seen my grandchildren, Emma and Lucas, in 4 months. And now this. I spend the evening alone in this room. The walls are beige, the furniture is institutional. There is a bathroom with grab bars and a call button. A small television mounted high on the wall. A window that does not open. It feels like a prison cell. At 9 o'clock, I try calling Gerald again. Voicemail. I text him. No response. The next morning, I wake early and go to the nurse's station. A different woman is there, older, with kind eyes. Excuse me, I need to speak with someone about leaving. There has been a terrible mistake. Let me get Helen for you. Helen arrives within minutes, as if she has been waiting. Mrs. Patterson, what can I do for you? I want to leave. I am not staying here. This is against my will. As I explained yesterday, your son has made these arrangements. If you are having trouble adjusting, we can speak with your doctor about some medication to help you feel calmer. I do not need medication. I need to go home. Mrs. Patterson, please try to settle in. It has only been one day. She walks away, dismissing me like a child. The days blur together. I call Gerald every morning and evening. He never answers. I leave messages. I text. Nothing. On the fourth day, his wife Diane finally picks up. Hello, Trudy. Diane, thank God. Where is Gerald? Why will he not talk to me? He is very busy with work right now. He cannot be dealing with your constant calls. Dealing with my calls? Diane, he left me in a nursing home. I need to talk to him. Trudy, you need to accept that this is where you belong now. Gerald has made his decision. But I do not belong here. I am healthy. I can take care of myself. In the background, I hear children laughing. Emma and Lucas. My heart aches. Diane, please let me talk to the kids. Just for a minute. That is not a good idea right now. They are busy with school. Please. It has been months since I have seen them. Goodbye, Trudy. She hangs up. I sit in the common room, surrounded by elderly people in wheelchairs, some with oxygen tanks, others staring blankly at a television. I am 65. I walk 3 miles every morning. I read books. I volunteer at the library. I do not belong here. But I am trapped. 1 week after my birthday, I am sitting in the common room when the evening news comes on. The lottery numbers flash across the screen. I have not thought about the lottery in days. Before Gerald brought me here, I bought a ticket like I do every week. It is a silly habit, I know, but it is just $2 and it gives me something to hope for. I remember tucking the ticket into my wallet. I pull it out now, the paper slightly crumpled. I compare the numbers on the screen to the numbers on my ticket. 3, 17, 24, 38, 42, Powerball, 9. My numbers. 3, 17, 24, 38, 42, Powerball, 9. I stare at the ticket, then at the screen, back to the ticket. Every number matches. My hands start to shake. I look around, but no one is paying attention. The other residents are absorbed in the television or dozing. I fold the ticket carefully and put it back in my wallet, my heart pounding so hard I can hear it in my ears. I won. I won the lottery. Later that night, back in my room, I look up the jackpot on my phone. $50 million. After taxes, roughly $3 million. $3 million. I sit on the edge of the bed, my mind racing. I can leave here. I can hire a lawyer. I can get my own place. I can be free. For the first time in a week, I feel something other than despair. I feel power. I feel hope. I tell no one. I hide the ticket back in my wallet, tucked behind my driver's license. I need to think. I need to plan. Tomorrow, I will claim my winnings. Tomorrow, I will take back my life. I do not sleep much that night. I lie awake making plans. First thing in the morning, I will go to the Lottery Commission office. It is in the state capital, about 30 miles away. I will need to get there somehow. Maybe a taxi. Yes, a taxi. I can call one from my cell phone. I pack my 2 small bags quietly at 6 in the morning. I dress in my nicest clothes, a blue blouse and gray slacks. I want to look respectable, capable. I check that the lottery ticket is secure in my wallet. Then I walk to the front desk. Helen is already there, despite the early hour. She looks up as I approach, her expression unreadable. Good morning, Mrs. Patterson. Good morning. I am leaving. Leaving? Where are you going? I have business to attend to in the city. I will be taking a taxi. Helen sets down her pen. Mrs. Patterson, you cannot just leave the facility. You are a resident here. I am an adult. I can go where I please. Actually, you cannot. Not without your legal guardian's permission. The words hit me like a slap. Legal guardian? What are you talking about? Helen opens a filing cabinet and pulls out another folder. She flips through the pages and finds what she is looking for. Your son Gerald filed for limited guardianship 2 weeks ago. The court granted it based on a medical evaluation. He has legal authority over your care decisions. I grab the edge of the desk to steady myself. That is impossible. I never went to court. No one told me anything about guardianship. It was an emergency petition. The doctor's evaluation was sufficient for the judge. What doctor? I have not seen a doctor. She shows me a document. At the top, it reads Psychiatric Evaluation, and it is signed by someone named Dr. Richard Palmer. I have never heard that name in my life. I scan the document quickly. It claims I have early-stage dementia, memory loss, poor judgment, inability to manage my finances. Every word is a lie. This is fraud. I have never met this doctor. I do not have dementia. Helen's voice is calm, almost soothing, which makes it worse. Mrs. Patterson, many people with cognitive decline are unaware of their condition. It is very common to have no insight into your own impairment. That is why your son had to take action. I am not impaired. This is all lies. My son is lying to keep me here. Mrs. Patterson, I think you should sit down. You are getting agitated. Let me call the nurse to give you something to help you calm down. I do not need to calm down. I need to leave. I turn toward the front door, but Helen presses a button under the desk. Within seconds, 2 large orderlies appear from a side hallway. They block my path. Mrs. Patterson, please return to your room, one of them says, his voice firm but not unkind. No, you cannot keep me here against my will. This is kidnapping. We are following the legal guardianship order, Helen says. If you refuse to cooperate, we will have to take measures to ensure your safety. I look at the orderlies, both twice my size. I look at Helen, her face like stone. I realize I cannot fight my way out. Not physically. I need a different approach. Fine, I say, forcing my voice to stay level. I will go back to my room. I walk back down the hallway, the orderlies following at a distance. Inside my room, I close the door and sit on the bed. My hands are still shaking, but now from rage instead of fear. I take out my phone and search for the lottery commission's number. When someone answers, I explain that I have a winning ticket, but I am having difficulty getting to their office. The woman on the phone is helpful. She explains that I can claim the prize by mail if I follow certain procedures, but it is easier and faster to come in person. She says I will need valid identification and the ticket itself. She also mentions that in our state, lottery winners can remain anonymous if they choose, which I definitely will. How soon can I come in? I ask. We are open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. I will be there as soon as I can. I hang up and stare at the wall. I need to get out of here. But how? That afternoon, I am sitting in the common room when I hear 2 nurses talking near the doorway. They do not realize I am in the chair around the corner, out of their line of sight. Did you see Helen this morning? One says. She was so smug. What happened? The other asks. That new resident, Mrs. Patterson, tried to leave. Helen shut her down fast. The son is paying a fortune to keep her here. Helen is not about to let her walk out. Do you believe what he told Helen? About his mother? About her being demented? I do not know. She seems pretty sharp to me. Me too. But Helen does not care as long as the check's clear. Did you hear what he did before he brought her here? No, what? Cleaned out her bank accounts. Every penny. My friend who works in admissions saw the financial records. The woman came in here with almost nothing. But 6 months ago, she had over $40,000. That is terrible. Helen knows. She does not care. She told Gerald she would keep his mother here as long as he keeps paying. They walk away, their voices fading down the hall. I sit frozen in the chair. $40,000. The money I gave Gerald for his business. The money from selling my house. He did not just take it for his business. He stole it. He drained my accounts and then locked me away. I pull out my phone with trembling fingers and open my banking app. I have not checked it in weeks, too depressed to care. The balance shows $12.37. He took everything. I want to scream. I want to cry. But I do not. I sit very still and think. Gerald does not know about the lottery ticket. No one does. It is my secret. My weapon. I just need to figure out how to use it. That night, I lie awake forming a plan. Tomorrow, I will try again. But this time, I will be smarter. I will wait until the evening shift change when the staff is distracted. I will slip out through the side door near the kitchen. I saw it during my walks around the facility. It is usually propped open when the food deliveries come in the late afternoon. I will leave with just my purse. No bags. Nothing to raise suspicion. I will walk to the main road, about half a mile, and call a taxi from there. By the time anyone notices I am gone, I will already be at the lottery office. It is not a perfect plan, but it is all I have. The next day feels endless. I go through the motions. Breakfast. Morning activities in the common room. Lunch, more sitting. I watch the clock. At 4:30, I position myself near the hallway that leads to the kitchen. Right on schedule. A delivery truck pulls up. A worker props open the side door and starts unloading boxes. I wait until he makes a second trip to the truck. Then I walk quickly down the hallway and slip out the open door. The afternoon sun is bright. I squint against it as I hurry across the parking lot toward the road. My heart is pounding. I do not look back. I make it to the tree line at the edge of the property. The main road is just ahead. I pull out my phone to call a taxi. Mrs. Patterson. I freeze. A security guard is jogging toward me from the building. I did not even know they had security. Mrs. Patterson, where are you going? I start walking faster. I am just getting some air. At 5 o'clock? Let me walk you back inside. No, thank you. I am fine. He catches up to me easily. He is young, maybe 30, with a kind face. I am sorry, but I cannot let you leave the property. It is for your safety. I am not in danger. I just need to go into town. I am afraid I cannot allow that. Please come back inside. He reaches for my arm gently. I pull away. Do not touch me. I am leaving. Mrs. Patterson, please do not make this difficult. I try to move past him, but he blocks my path. He pulls out a radio. This is Jake at the East Perimeter. I have Mrs. Patterson. She is attempting to leave the facility. I need assistance. Within 2 minutes, Helen arrives in a golf cart with 2 nurses. One of them is Carol, the kind one from my first night. Helen steps out of the cart. Mrs. Patterson, this is very concerning behavior. I have every right to leave. No, you do not. Not without your guardian's permission. And trying to run away suggests you are not thinking clearly. Carol, call Dr. Palmer. We need to get Mrs. Patterson evaluated and medicated. Medicated? There is nothing wrong with me. But they are already guiding me toward the golf cart. Carol looks uncomfortable, but she does not object. They take me back to the building, not to my room but to a medical office. A nurse I have not seen before is waiting with a syringe. No, I say, backing toward the door. I do not consent to this. Mrs. Patterson, you are clearly agitated and confused, Helen says. This medication will help you feel calmer. I am not confused. You are holding me prisoner. The 2 orderlies from this morning appear in the doorway behind me. I am trapped. Please do not make us restrain you, Helen says. I look at Carol. She looks away. They hold my arm. I try to pull free, but they are too strong. The needle goes in. Within seconds, I feel a strange warmth spreading through my body. My thoughts start to blur. My legs feel weak. They help me back to my room. I collapse onto the bed. The last thing I see before my eyes close is Helen standing in the doorway, watching me with that cold expression. When I wake up, it is dark outside. My head feels foggy, my mouth dry. I check my phone. It is 10 o'clock at night. I have lost 5 hours. I pull out my wallet with clumsy fingers. The lottery ticket is still there. I hold it against my chest and close my eyes. I will not give up. I cannot give up. But I also realize something terrible. I am not going to be able to leave on my own. They are watching me too closely now, and they are willing to drug me into submission. I need help. I need someone on the outside. But who? I have no family except Gerald. My friends from before have drifted away over the years. especially after I moved to the small apartment and could not afford to go out anymore. I am alone. Except I am not. I have $3 million. Or I will, once I claim it. And with that kind of money, I can hire all the help I need. I just have to survive long enough to get it. The next morning, I wake up, still groggy from whatever they gave me. My thoughts feel slow, thick. I force myself to get out of bed and shower, hoping the water will clear my head. It helps a little. At breakfast, Carol brings my tray. She sets it down and lingers for a moment. "How are you feeling, Mrs. Patterson? How do you think I am feeling?" She glances around to make sure no one is listening. "I am sorry about yesterday." Helen ordered it. I had to follow her instructions. "Did you? Or could you have said no?" She looks hurt. "It is my job. I need this job." I soften a little. She is young. She is probably struggling herself. I know. I am sorry. I am just frustrated. I understand. She hesitates. "For what it is worth, I do not think you belong here. You seem perfectly capable to me." "Thank you. That means more than you know." She nods and walks away. I spend the next 2 days in a haze. They are giving me medication with my meals. I can taste it in the food, a slight bitterness in the oatmeal, the pudding. I try to refuse, but they threaten to inject me again if I do not cooperate. So I eat it, and I feel myself slipping into a fog. On the 3rd day, Gerald finally comes to visit. I am in my room, staring at the television without really watching it, when there is a knock on the door. He walks in carrying a bouquet of yellow flowers, wearing an expensive suit and a smile that does not reach his eyes. "Hi, Mom." I sit up straighter, trying to focus through the medication fog. "Gerald." He sets the flowers on the bedside table. "Sorry I have not been by sooner. Work has been crazy." "Work?" "Right." He pulls the chair closer and sits. "How are you settling in? The staff says you are having some trouble adjusting." "Some trouble?" "Gerald, you locked me in here. You stole my money. You forged guardianship papers." His smile fades. "Mom, you are confused. The doctor said you would have trouble understanding what is happening. That is why I had to make these decisions for you." "I am not confused. I know exactly what you did." "Do you? Do you remember trying to run away yesterday? Do you remember fighting with the staff? I remember you drugging me against my will." He stands and walks to the window, his back to me. "I am doing what is best for you. I know you do not see that now, but someday you will understand." "Understand what? That you are a thief? That you abandoned your own mother?" He turns around, and for a second, I see something cold flash in his eyes. Then the mask returns. "I think you need more rest. I will talk to the doctor about adjusting your medication." "Do not you dare." He walks toward the door, then pauses. "Oh, Mom, one more thing. I went by your apartment after I moved you here. I needed to collect some of your things." My blood runs cold. "I found some lottery tickets in your drawer. Old ones, mostly. But I noticed you had one for the recent drawing. Did you check it?" I force my face to stay neutral. "What?" "No. I threw those away." "Really?" "Because I checked the numbers. You won. The room feels like it is spinning." "What are you talking about?" "Do not play dumb, Mom. You won $3 million. Where is the ticket?" "I do not have it. I told you. I threw them all away. I did not win anything." He steps closer. "You are lying. I know you never throw away tickets until you check them. It is one of your little habits. So where is it?" "I do not know what you are talking about." He stares at me for a long moment. "Fine. Have it your way. But I will find it, Mom. And when I do, you are going to sign it over to me." "Why would I ever do that?" He leans down so his face is close to mine. "Because I am your son. Because you owe me. I gave you a grandson and a granddaughter. I took care of you when Dad died. That money should be mine." I stare at him, this stranger wearing my son's face. "Get out. I will be back tomorrow with my lawyer. We are going to have a little talk about your finances, about your assets, about what is best for everyone. Get out." He straightens. "I hope you will cooperate, Mom. Things will be easier if you do." He walks out, leaving the cheap flowers on the table. I sit very still, my heart racing. He knows. He knows about the lottery. He does not know I have the ticket with me, that it is hidden in my wallet in the drawer beside my bed, but he will look for it. He will tear apart my old apartment. He will search everywhere. And when he does not find it, he will come after me harder. I need to act now, tonight. I cannot wait any longer. That evening, after dinner, after the medications start to make my thoughts fuzzy again, I force myself to stay awake. I pinch my arm, bite my lip, anything to keep the fog at bay. I pace my room, walking back and forth, back and forth. At 11 o'clock, most of the lights in the hallways dim. The night staff is minimal. This is my chance. I check my wallet, the ticket is still there. I put on my shoes and a cardigan over my nightgown. It is not ideal, but I cannot risk changing clothes and making noise. I open my door slowly. The hallway is empty. I slip out and move toward the side exit I tried before. It is locked, but there is a keypad. I try a few obvious combinations. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 2, 2. Nothing works. I try another door. Locked. Another. Locked. I make my way toward the main entrance. Maybe if I wait until a visitor comes in or out, I can slip through. But as I round the corner, I see him. Jake, the security guard from yesterday. He is sitting at the front desk, reading something on his phone. I back away before he sees me. I am trapped. Every door is locked. Every exit is monitored. I lean against the wall, fighting tears. The medication is pulling at me, trying to drag me down into sleep. No, I cannot give up. I make my way back to my room. I need a new plan. I need help from the outside. Back in my room, I sit on the bed and pick up my phone. My fingers feel clumsy, but I manage to search for law firms that handle elder abuse. Several results come up. I click on one that has good reviews. The website says they offer free consultations. I dial the number. It rings 4 times, then goes to voicemail. Of course, it is nearly midnight. Hello, my name is Trudy Patterson. I am being held against my will at Meadowbrook Nursing Home. My son forged guardianship papers and is trying to steal my money. I need help. Please call me back. I leave my number and hang up. I try 2 more law firms. Both go to voicemail. I leave messages at each. Then I call the police, non-emergency line. Police department, how can I help you? I am being held at a nursing home against my will. I need help. What is the address? I give it to her. And what is your name? Trudy Patterson. 1 moment, please. I hear typing. Ma'am, our records show you are a resident there under a legal guardianship. That guardianship is fraudulent. My son forged the papers. Ma'am, you will need to take that up with the courts. We cannot remove you from a facility when there is a legal guardianship in place. But I am not incompetent. I do not belong here. I am sorry, ma'am. That is a civil matter. You need to speak with an attorney. She hangs up. I sit holding the phone, despair washing over me. No one will help. No one believes me. The medication is winning. My eyes feel heavy. I lie down, still dressed, and let the fog take me under. The next morning, I wake to someone shaking my shoulder. I open my eyes. Helen is standing over me, and behind her are 2 people I do not recognize. A man in his 50s wearing an expensive suit, and a woman about the same age with sharp eyes and a briefcase. Mrs. Patterson, wake up. You have visitors. I sit up slowly, my head pounding. This is Thomas Brennan, Helen says, gesturing to the man. He is your son's attorney. And this is Dr. Palmer. Dr. Palmer, the one who signed the fake evaluation. I would like you all to leave, I say, my voice hoarse. I am afraid that is not possible, Thomas says smoothly. We need to discuss some legal matters regarding your guardianship and your finances. I have nothing to say to you. Thomas sits in the chair, uninvited. Mrs. Patterson, your son has informed us that you may have come into some money recently. A lottery win, perhaps? I say nothing. We need to ensure that any assets you acquire are properly managed, given your diminished capacity. I do not have diminished capacity. Dr. Palmer speaks for the first time. Mrs. Patterson, I have reviewed your file. The signs of dementia are clear. Memory loss, confusion, paranoia. Your son is acting in your best interest. You have never examined me. That evaluation is a lie. I assure you, it is completely legitimate. Thomas pulls papers from his briefcase. We need you to sign these documents. They grant your son power of attorney over any financial assets or income you receive. It is a simple formality. I am not signing anything. Mrs. Patterson, you do not really have a choice. If you refuse to cooperate, we will take this before a judge and have you declared fully incompetent. You will lose all control over your life. Is that what you want? I look at each of them. Helen, cold and indifferent. Dr. Palmer, clinical and detached. Thomas, smug and confident. They think they have me cornered. But they do not know about the ticket in my wallet. They do not know I have already called lawyers. They do not know I will fight them with every breath I have left. Get out of my room. Thomas stands. You have 24 hours to reconsider. After that, we file with the court. Think very carefully about what you want your life to look like going forward. They leave, and I am alone again. I check my phone. There is a voicemail from one of the law firms I called. My hands shake as I press play. Hello, Mrs. Patterson. This is Patricia Morgan from Morgan & Associates. I received your message. I would like to speak with you about your case. Please call me back at this number as soon as possible. I call immediately. Patricia Morgan. Miss Morgan, this is Trudy Patterson. Thank you for calling me back. Tell me what is happening. I explain everything. The nursing home, the forged guardianship, Gerald stealing my money, the lottery win, the threats. She listens without interrupting. When I finish, she says, Mrs. Patterson, what you are describing is elder abuse and financial exploitation. I can help you, but I need you to understand that this will be a fight. I am ready to fight. Good. First, do not sign anything. Second, I am going to file emergency motions to block the power of attorney and challenge the guardianship. Third, I need you to stay safe. Can you get out of there? They have me locked in. They are drugging me. I tried to escape twice and failed. All right. I am going to contact Adult Protective Services and file a report. In the meantime, document everything. If they give you medication, note the time and what it is. If anyone threatens you, write it down. Can you do that? Yes. I will be in touch within 24 hours. Hang in there, Trudy. Thank you. I hang up, and for the first time in days, I feel a glimmer of hope. But that night, everything gets worse. At midnight, I lie awake in bed, too anxious to sleep, even with the medication in my system. I keep thinking about Gerald's threat, about the 24 hours he gave me. What will happen when time runs out? I decide to act. I get dressed in real clothes this time. Jeans, a sweater, sneakers. I put my wallet with the lottery ticket in my pocket. Then I sit by the door, waiting and listening. Around 1 a.m, I hear footsteps in the hallway. Light ones, probably a nurse doing rounds. I wait for them to pass. Then I slip out of my room. I head toward the emergency exit at the far end of the building. I saw it on my walks, but never tried it, because I knew it would set off an alarm. But right now, I do not care. An alarm will bring attention, maybe even police. Maybe that is what I need. I push the bar to open the door. An alarm blares, deafeningly loud in the quiet building. I run. I make it outside into the cold night air. The parking lot is ahead, then the road beyond. I am 50 feet away, 40, 30. Mrs. Patterson, stop. It is Jake, the security guard. I run faster, but my 65-year-old legs cannot compete with his 30-year-old ones. He catches me at the edge of the parking lot. Please, I gasp. Please let me go. They are keeping me here against my will. Mrs. Patterson, I cannot let you leave. You will hurt yourself out here alone at night. I will not. I just need to get to town. Come back inside, please. He puts a gentle hand on my arm. I try to pull away, but he holds firm. Not rough, but steady. By now, other staff have arrived. Helen, even at 1 a.m. How does she always appear? 2 nurses. One of them is Carol. Helen's face is furious. Mrs. Patterson, this is completely unacceptable behavior. Let me go. I want to leave. You are clearly in crisis. Carol, get Dr. Palmer on the phone. Mrs. Patterson needs emergency medication. No. I struggle, but Jake and one of the other nurses guide me back inside. They take me to the medical office again. The same nurse as before is preparing a syringe. This time, I fight harder. I thrash and kick. Hold her still, the nurse commands. They pin my arms. I scream. The needle pierces my skin. Almost instantly, everything goes fuzzy. My limbs feel like lead. They are talking above me, but their voices sound far away, distorted. They take me back to my room. I collapse onto the bed. My last conscious thought is of the lottery ticket in my jeans pocket. Did they search me? Will they find it? Then darkness takes over. I wake late the next morning, light streaming through the window. My head feels stuffed with cotton. My mouth is so dry I can barely swallow. I reach for the water cup on my bedside table and drink it all. I check my jeans. Still there. The wallet is still in my pocket. I pull it out and look inside. The lottery ticket is there, thank God. But I feel terrible, weak, nauseous. My hands shake. I try to stand and nearly fall. I sit back down and put my head between my knees, breathing slowly. There is a knock at the door. Carol enters with a breakfast tray. "Good morning, Mrs. Patterson. How are you feeling?" "Awful." She sets down the tray. "I am not surprised. They gave you a pretty heavy sedative last night. Carol, please. You have to help me get out of here." She glances at the door nervously. "I wish I could. But Helen is watching everyone closely now. She knows you have been trying to leave. They are going to kill me if I stay here." She looks shocked. "Kill you?" "No. They would not. You do not understand. My son wants my money. He will do anything to get it." Carol sits on the edge of the bed. "Listen, I believe you that something wrong is happening, but I cannot help you escape. I will lose my job, maybe face criminal charges for violating the guardianship order. What if I told you I hired a lawyer, that she is filing motions to get me out? Did you?" "Yes. Her name is Patricia Morgan. She is with Morgan and Associates." Carol nods slowly. "Then you need to hold on until she can help you legally. No more escape attempts. They will just drug you again. Maybe even move you to a psychiatric facility. Just wait." "I do not know if I have time to wait." "You have to try." She leaves, taking the breakfast tray with her. I did not eat anything. I cannot stomach food right now. The rest of the day passes in a blur. I feel sick, weak, foggy. I lie in bed mostly, drifting in and out of sleep. That evening, Gerald returns. This time, his wife Diane is with him. Diane is 42, tall and thin with blonde hair and cold blue eyes. She works in pharmaceutical sales, which is how Gerald met her 12 years ago when his consulting company worked with her employer. They have always been about money, about status, about appearances. She has never liked me. Gerald sits in the chair. Diane stands by the window, arms crossed. "Hello, Mom," Gerald says. His voice is flat now, no pretense of warmth. I do not respond. "We need to talk about the lottery ticket." Still, I say nothing. Diane speaks. "Trudy, you are making this harder than it needs to be. Just tell us where the ticket is, and we can all move on with our lives." "You mean you can move on with my money?" "Your money?" Diane laughs. A harsh sound. "You did not earn that money. You just got lucky. Gerald is your son. He deserves it more than you do." "He does not deserve anything." Gerald leans forward. "I put up with you my whole life. Your constant guilt trips, your neediness, the way you suffocated me after Dad died. You made my childhood miserable." The words cut deeper than any knife could. "I worked 2 jobs to raise you. I gave you everything. You gave me nothing I actually wanted. Just your martyr act. Look how much I sacrificed for you, Gerald. It was exhausting." Diane adds, "Besides, what are you going to do with $3 million? You are 65. You will be dead in 20 years. We have 2 kids to raise. Emma needs braces. Lucas wants to go to a private high school. We have bills. We have plans. That money would actually mean something to us." I look at them both. "Get out." Gerald stands. "Fine. But you should know. I talked to your lawyer." My blood goes cold. "What?" "Patricia Morgan. She called the nursing home looking for you. Helen gave me her number. I called her back and explained the situation. Explained that you are confused, that you have dementia, that you need protection from making bad decisions. She did not believe you. Maybe not. But I have a doctor's evaluation. I have guardianship. I have evidence. What do you have? a lottery ticket you refuse to produce, and a story about being held prisoner. Who do you think a judge will believe? He heads toward the door. Diane follows but turns back. By the way, Trudy, I hope you like the food here, because you are not leaving, ever. Even if you somehow win in court, even if you get that money, Gerald and I will make your life hell. We will tie you up in legal battles for years. We will turn Emma and Lucas against you completely. You will die alone and miserable. She smiles. Oh, wait. You already are alone and miserable. They leave. I sit on the bed, shaking. Not from fear, from rage. For the first time, I truly understand what my son has become. Or maybe what he always was, and I was too blind to see it. That night, I do not try to escape. I follow Carol's advice. I wait. But the next morning, things take an even darker turn. I wake feeling violently ill. My stomach cramps. I barely make it to the bathroom before vomiting. Again and again until there is nothing left and I am just dry, heaving over the toilet. I manage to crawl back to bed. My whole body aches. I am burning up with fever. I press the call button. A nurse arrives, not Carol. This one is older, stern-faced. I need a doctor. Something is wrong. She takes my temperature. 103. I will let Helen know. An hour passes. Then 2. I am getting worse. The vomiting does not stop. I am dizzy, disoriented. Finally, Carol comes in. Mrs. Patterson. I called for an ambulance. You need to go to the hospital. Thank you, I whisper. The paramedics arrive. They load me onto a stretcher. As they wheel me out, I see Helen talking on her phone. She looks annoyed, not concerned. At the hospital, they hook me up to IVs, run tests. A doctor comes in, a woman in her 40s with kind eyes. Her name tag reads Dr. Sarah Collins. Mrs. Patterson, we are running a full panel of tests to see what is making you so sick. How long have you been feeling unwell? Since this morning. Any chance you ate something bad? I do not think so. I eat the same food as everyone else at the nursing home. Dr. Collins nods. I will be back once we have results. An hour later, she returns with a serious expression. Mrs. Patterson, your toxicology screening shows elevated levels of sedatives in your system, much higher than would be normal for someone on prescribed medications. There are also traces of ipecac syrup. Ipecac? What is that? It is a substance that induces vomiting. It used to be used in cases of poisoning, but is not commonly prescribed anymore. Someone gave this to you deliberately. My mind races. The nursing home. They have been medicating me against my will. That is very concerning. I am going to contact Hospital Social Services and Adult Protective Services. Thank you. There is something else you should know. I tell her everything. The guardianship. Gerald. The lottery. The attempts to keep me drugged and compliant. She listens carefully, taking notes. Mrs. Patterson, I am not releasing you back to that nursing home. You are staying here until we can ensure your safety. Relief floods through me. Thank you. Over the next few hours, a social worker named Janet comes to interview me, then someone from Adult Protective Services. I tell my story over and over. They are sympathetic, but I can see the doubt in their eyes. They have heard stories like this before, elderly people who believe their families are out to get them. But then Dr. Collins shows them the toxicology reports. That changes things. We need to investigate the nursing home, Janet says. This is serious. That afternoon, Gerald shows up at the hospital. He is furious. He storms into my room. What did you tell them? The truth. Dr. Collins enters behind him. Mr. Patterson, I need you to leave. Your mother is not well enough for visitors. I am her legal guardian. You cannot keep me away. Actually, I can. This is a hospital, not a prison. And given the circumstances, I think it is best if you leave. What circumstances? Your mother's toxicology results show evidence of poisoning. We have contacted the authorities. Gerald's face goes pale, then red. That is ridiculous. She is confused. She is sick because she is old and delusional. Mr. Patterson, leave now or I will call security. He looks at me, his eyes full of rage. Then he turns and storms out. Dr. Collins turns to me. I am sorry you are going through this. It is not your fault. You are safe here. We will make sure of that. That night, Lying in the hospital bed, I finally allow myself to rest. I am hooked up to IVs, monitored by nurses, protected by hospital security. For the first time in weeks, I feel safe. But I know this is not over. Gerald is not going to give up, and I still have not claimed my lottery winnings. The war is just beginning. I spend 3 days in the hospital. The doctors flush the toxins from my system, give me fluids and antibiotics to fight an infection that developed. Slowly, I start to feel like myself again. My head clears. My strength returns. Patricia Morgan, my lawyer, comes to visit on the second day. She is in her 50s, with short gray hair and sharp, intelligent eyes. She sits beside my bed and opens her briefcase. "Trudy, I have been working non-stop on your case. I filed emergency motions to block any power of attorney or financial control your son is seeking. I also filed to have the guardianship overturned. Will it work?" The judge granted a hearing. It is scheduled for 3 days from now. But I have to warn you, these cases are difficult. Your son has a doctor's evaluation, signed guardianship papers, and the nursing home's records of your behavior. We have to prove all of that is either fraudulent or exaggerated. What do I need to do? Be honest. Be clear. Show the judge that you are competent and capable. I will have Dr. Collins testify about the poisoning. I will have the toxicology reports. But the strongest evidence will be you. I can do that. Good. There is something else. I spoke with Adult Protective Services. They have opened an investigation into the nursing home. They found evidence that Helen, the administrator, has been taking payments from families to keep residents sedated and compliant. It is a pattern. You are not the first. What about Gerald? And Diane? That is trickier. The police are investigating, but proving that Gerald or Diane directly administered the drugs is difficult. The nursing home staff could have done it on Gerald's behalf, or Helen could have acted independently to keep him happy. We need more evidence. I think for a moment. Diane works in pharmaceutical sales. She has access to medications. That is helpful. I will pass that information to the investigators. She stands to leave but pauses. Trudy, once this hearing is over, you need to claim that lottery ticket immediately. Get the money into an account that only you control. That is your protection. I know. I will. The hearing is set for 2 days after my discharge from the hospital. Janet, the social worker, helps me arrange temporary housing at a different facility, one that specializes in short-term rehabilitation rather than long-term care. It is clean, safe, and most importantly, not controlled by Helen or my son. The morning of the hearing, Patricia picks me up. We drive to the courthouse together. My hands shake as we walk up the steps. Inside, I see Gerald, Diane, and Thomas Brennan, Gerald's lawyer. They are sitting on a bench in the hallway, talking in low voices. When Gerald sees me, his expression hardens. We go into the courtroom. The judge, Raymond Foster, is a man in his 60s with gray hair and a serious demeanor. He reviews the files in front of him while we all take our seats. This is a hearing regarding the guardianship of Trudy Patterson. Judge Foster begins. Mr. Brennan, you are representing the petitioner, Gerald Patterson. Miss Morgan, you are representing Mrs. Patterson. Let us begin. Thomas stands. Your Honor, this is a straightforward case. Mrs. Patterson suffers from early-stage dementia and cannot manage her own affairs. Her son, Mr. Patterson, has acted responsibly by securing appropriate care for her and seeking guardianship to protect her from making poor decisions. We have a complete psychiatric evaluation from Dr. Palmer supporting this. He submits the evaluation to the judge. Patricia stands. Your Honor, Mrs. Patterson is not incompetent. She is a victim of elder abuse and financial exploitation. The psychiatric evaluation in question was obtained fraudulently. Dr. Palmer never actually examined Mrs. Patterson. The guardianship was granted without proper notice or due process. And most disturbingly, Mrs. Patterson was poisoned while in the care of the facility her son placed her in. She submits the toxicology reports and Dr. Collins's statement. Judge Foster looks at both sets of documents. This is quite serious. Mr. Brennan, can you explain the toxicology findings? Your Honor, Mrs. Patterson was in a licensed facility. If inappropriate medications were administered, that is a matter between her and the facility, not relevant to this guardianship. On the contrary, Patricia says, it is highly relevant. Mr. Patterson placed his mother in that facility knowing she would be heavily sedated. He visited her there and made no attempt to intervene when he saw her condition. In fact, evidence suggests he may have been complicit in the drugging. That is a baseless accusation, Thomas snaps. Judge Foster raises a hand. Let us proceed in an orderly fashion. I would like to hear from Mrs. Patterson herself. Patricia nods to me. I stand, my legs shaky. Mrs. Patterson, Judge Foster says gently, tell me in your own words what has happened. I take a deep breath and begin. I tell him about my husband's death 20 years ago, about working 2 jobs to raise Gerald, about selling my house to help his business, about Gerald taking me to the nursing home under false pretenses, about discovering my bank accounts had been drained, about the lottery win, about Gerald's threats. I speak clearly and steadily. I make eye contact with the judge. I do not cry or become emotional. I just tell the truth. When I finish, Judge Foster is quiet for a moment. Mrs. Patterson, you seem quite lucid and capable to me. Mr. Brennan, I am concerned about this guardianship. The psychiatric evaluation troubles me. I want Dr. Palmer brought in to testify. Thomas shifts uncomfortably. Dr. Palmer is not available today, Your Honor. Then we will reschedule. I want to hear from him directly. Your Honor, I request we proceed without him. We have his written evaluation. And I have a hospital's toxicology report showing Mrs. Patterson was poisoned. I want answers. This hearing is recessed for 1 week. Mr. Brennan, you will produce Dr. Palmer, or I will assume his evaluation is not credible. He bangs his gavel. Patricia squeezes my arm. That went well, but it is not over. No, but we are winning. As we leave the courtroom, Gerald steps in front of me in the hallway. You think you are so smart, he hisses. You think you have won. Gerald, step back, Patricia warns. But he ignores her. Even if the judge rules against me today, I will appeal. I will drag this out for years. You will spend all that lottery money on lawyers and have nothing left. Diane steps up beside him. Just give us the ticket, Trudy. Sign it over. We will drop everything, and you can live in peace. I look at them both, my son and his wife. People I once loved, or thought I did. No? Gerald leans closer, his voice dropping to a whisper. You might not live that long. The hospital saved you once. They might not be there next time. It is a threat. Clear and unmistakable. Patricia steps between us. That is enough. That sounded like a threat, Mr. Patterson. I suggest you leave before I report this to the judge. Gerald backs off, but his eyes never leave mine. This is not over, Mother. They walk away. Patricia turns to me. Did you hear that? He just threatened you in front of witnesses. I heard. Good. That helps our case. We leave the courthouse. Patricia drives me back to the temporary facility. Trudy, you need to go to the lottery office today. Right now. Claim that money before Gerald can do anything else. You are right. She changes direction and drives me to the Lottery Commission office downtown. We park and walk inside. The office is surprisingly ordinary. Just a regular government building with fluorescent lights and worn carpet. A woman at the front desk looks up as we enter. Can I help you? I need to claim a lottery prize, I say. She hands me a form. Fill this out and bring your ticket and ID to window 3. I sit in a plastic chair and fill out the paperwork with shaking hands. Patricia sits beside me. You are doing great, she says. At window 3, I present my ticket and driver's license. The clerk scans the ticket and her eyes widen slightly. 1 moment, please. She disappears into a back office. A few minutes later, a man in a suit appears. Mrs. Patterson? I am David Chen, the claims director. Congratulations on your win. This is a substantial prize. $3 million after taxes. Thank you. We need to verify some information, and then we can process your payment. Would you like a lump sum or annuity? Lump sum. And would you like to remain anonymous? Our state allows it. Yes, definitely. He nods. Smart choice. Give us about an hour to process everything, and then we will have a check for you. An hour later, I walk out of the lottery office with a check for $3 million. Patricia drives me directly to her bank. We set up a new account in my name only. I deposit the check. Patricia is listed as an emergency contact but has no access to the funds. There, she says as we leave the bank. Now Gerald cannot touch it. I pull out my phone and call my cell carrier. Within minutes, I have a new number. I give it to Patricia, but no one else. What about your will? Patricia asks. I need to change it. I know an excellent estate attorney. Let me call her. That afternoon, I sit in the office of Margaret White, an estate planning lawyer. She is older, probably 70, with white hair and a gentle manner. Miss Morgan explained your situation, she says. You want to disinherit your son. Yes. And who would you like to inherit instead? My grandchildren, Emma and Lucas. But not until they are 25. I want the money in a trust until then, with Patricia as trustee. That is wise. And if your son contests the will, then he gets nothing. Add a no contest clause. Margaret nods. I will draft everything today. You can sign tomorrow. The next day, I return and sign the new will. It is official. Gerald is cut out completely. The document specifically states, I am of sound mind. My son Gerald Patterson betrayed me, stole from me, and attempted to harm me. He receives nothing from my estate. I feel a weight lift from my shoulders. That evening, I check into a hotel, not the same one as before, a different one, on the other side of the city. I pay cash so there is no credit card trail. I order room service and take a long bath. I put on the soft hotel robe and sit by the window, looking out at the city lights. For the first time in months, I feel like myself again. Strong, capable, in control. But at 10 o'clock, there is loud pounding on my door. I freeze. Mom, open up. Gerald. How did he find me? I know you are in there. Open the door. I grab my phone and call hotel security. This is room 517. Someone is trying to break into my room. Security is on the way. Gerald's voice rises. You cannot hide forever. We know you claimed the money. We will sue you. We will make your life hell. Diane's voice joins in. You selfish old woman. That money should be ours. Security arrives. I hear them asking Gerald and Diane to leave. There is arguing, then footsteps moving away. A security guard knocks. Ma'am, they are gone. Are you all right? I open the door. How did they find me? I do not know. But I can have someone escort you to a different room if you would like. Yes, please. They move me to a room on a different floor, but as I lie in bed that night, I realize the truth. Gerald is not going to stop. Ever. As long as he thinks he can get my money, he will hunt me. He will threaten me. He will make my life unbearable. I cannot just defend myself anymore. I have to go on the offensive. The next morning, I call Patricia from my new hotel room. Gerald found me last night. He and Diane showed up at my hotel, banging on the door, making threats. Did you call the police? Hotel security handled it. But Patricia, this is not going to stop. He is going to keep coming after me. Then we need to make sure he cannot. I have an idea. Can you meet me at my office in an hour? Yes. At her office, Patricia has another person waiting. A man in his 40s wearing jeans and a leather jacket. He looks more like a detective than a lawyer. Trudy, this is Frank Morrison. He is a private investigator I use for complex cases. I think we need his help. Frank shakes my hand. Mrs. Patterson, Patricia told me your situation. I would like to dig into your son's background, see what we can find. What kind of things? Financial records. Business dealings. Anything that might show a pattern of fraud or criminal behavior. If we can find evidence that he has done this before, or that he is in financial trouble and desperate, it strengthens your case and gives the police more to work with. Do it. Over the next 3 days, Frank works. He calls me with updates. Your son's business is failing. Bad. He owes over $200,000 to various creditors. He took out loans using your name and forged your signature on the applications. Can we prove that? I am working on it. I also found that he defrauded several investors, told them his business was doing well when it was actually hemorrhaging money. I have emails, financial statements. This guy is in deep. What about Diane? She is interesting. Her pharmaceutical sales job is legitimate, but I found large cash withdrawals from their joint account right before you were admitted to the nursing home. 5,000 here, 3,000 there. I think they were paying Helen under the table. Can you prove it? Working on that too. On the fourth day, Frank comes to Patricia's office with a thick folder. I have enough, he says. Your son committed fraud, forgery, and elder abuse. I have documentation of the loans in your name, the forged signatures, the business fraud. I also have phone records showing dozens of calls between Diane and Helen at the nursing home, plus evidence of cash payments. I am turning all of this over to the police today. Patricia smiles. Excellent work. That afternoon, Patricia and I go to the police station. We meet with a detective named Amy Rodriguez. She is in her 30s, serious and professional. Patricia presents all of Frank's findings. Detective Rodriguez reviews everything carefully. This is substantial, she says. I am going to bring Mr. Patterson in for questioning. We will likely file charges. What kind of charges? I ask. Elder abuse, fraud, forgery, possibly conspiracy. It depends on what else we find. But based on this, I would say your son is looking at serious prison time if convicted. Relief washes over me. Thank you. 2 days later, Gerald is arrested at his home. I do not witness it, but Patricia calls to tell me. He is in custody. Bail is set at $50,000. Will he make bail? Probably. His business assets can cover it, but he is going to have to appear in court, and the evidence against him is strong. What about Diane? She was arrested too. Conspiracy charges. Bail set at $25,000. I feel a grim satisfaction. They tried to destroy me. Now they are facing consequences. But I know Gerald. He does not give up easily. Sure enough, a week later, Patricia calls with bad news. Gerald made bail. And Trudy, he is looking for you. How do you know? He showed up at my office yesterday demanding to know where you are. I told him I could not disclose client information. He threatened to sue me. He is desperate and dangerous. What should I do? Stay hidden. I am going to get you a restraining order, but it takes time. In the meanwhile, do not go anywhere you have been before. Change hotels every few days. Be careful. I follow her advice. I move to a new hotel in a suburb outside the city. I keep my head down. I do not go anywhere unnecessary. But 5 days later, Gerald finds me again. I am in my hotel room, watching television, when I hear his voice in the hallway. I know she is on this floor. Tell me which room. The front desk must have told him I checked in, despite my requests for privacy. I grab my purse and phone and slip out the back stairwell. I make it to the parking lot and call a taxi. While I wait, I see Gerald emerge from the hotel entrance, looking around. He spots me. Mom? He runs toward me. I back away. Stay away from me, Gerald. We need to talk. We have nothing to say to each other. He reaches me before the taxi arrives. He grabs my arm. Not rough, but firm. Let go of me. I am your son. You owe me. I do not owe you anything. You ruined my life. I am facing prison because of you. You ruined your own life. His face contorts with rage. Give me the money. Just give me the money and I will leave you alone. No? He tightens his grip. Give it to me. A taxi pulls up. The driver gets out. Hey! Let her go! Gerald releases me. I stumble toward the taxi. This is not over, Gerald shouts as I get in. You hear me? This is not over. The taxi drives away. In the rearview mirror, I see Gerald standing in the parking lot, watching. That night, from yet another hotel, I call Patricia. He assaulted me. He grabbed my arm. The taxi driver saw it. Did you call the police? No. I just wanted to get away. Trudy, you need to report this. It is another charge against him. I will. The next morning, I file a police report. Detective Rodriguez takes my statement. Mrs. Patterson, your son is escalating. I am going to recommend his bail be revoked. 2 days later, Gerald is arrested again. This time, bail is denied. He is held in county jail pending trial. I finally breathe easier. Over the next month, things begin to settle. The criminal case against Gerald moves forward. The prosecutor has a strong case. Patricia tells me he will likely take a plea deal. The guardianship hearing happens. Dr. Palmer is finally brought in to testify, and under cross-examination, he admits he never actually examined me. He signed the evaluation as a favor to Gerald, who paid him $5,000. The judge is furious. He throws out the guardianship entirely and issues a restraining order against Gerald. I am free. Legally, finally, completely free. I use some of the lottery money to buy a small house in a different state. 3 bedrooms, a nice yard, in a quiet neighborhood. I install a security system. I change my appearance slightly, cut my hair shorter and dye it a different color. I start going by my middle name, Joan, just to make it harder for anyone to track me. I join a community center. I volunteer at a library. I make friends. I start living the life I should have been living all along. But there is one more thing I need to do. I need to reconnect with my grandchildren. Emma is 16 now. Lucas is 14. I have not seen them in nearly a year. Gerald and Diane kept them away from me, fed them lies about me, but they are old enough now to hear the truth. I reach out through Patricia, who contacts a family therapist. With the therapist's help, we arrange a meeting. Emma and Lucas come with a social worker, since their parents are both in jail awaiting trial. We meet at a neutral location, a park with picnic tables. When I see them, my heart breaks. Emma has grown so tall. Lucas has his father's eyes, but his grandfather's smile. Grandma? Emma says tentatively, "Hi, sweetheart." We sit at a picnic table. The social worker and therapist stay nearby but give us space. "Your parents told you things about me," I begin. "Things that are not true. I want to tell you what really happened." I explain everything, in age-appropriate terms. I do not sugarcoat, but I also do not burden them with details they do not need. I tell them about the nursing home, the guardianship, the lottery, the criminal charges. "Your father made some very bad choices," I say. "But I want you to know that I love you. I always have, and I always will. None of this is your fault." Emma starts to cry. "We thought you did not want to see us anymore. Dad said you were sick and forgot who we were." "I never forgot you. Not for 1 second." Lucas asks, "What is going to happen to our parents?" "They are going to face consequences for what they did. Your dad might go to prison. I do not know what will happen to your mom." "Where will we live?" Emma asks. "Right now, you are with a foster family, right?" They nod. "I am working with my lawyer to see if I can get custody of you, if you want that. Or at least regular visitation. It will take time, but I promise you, I am not going anywhere. I am here for you." Emma reaches across the table and takes my hand. "I want to live with you, Grandma." Lucas nods. "Me too." "Then we will make that happen." Over the next few months, I work with family court. Gerald and Diane, facing prison time, agree to give me custody rather than have the children go into permanent foster care. The judge approves. Emma and Lucas move into my new house. We start building a new life together. 6 months have passed since that terrible birthday when Gerald left me in the nursing home. 6 months since my world fell apart and then, somehow, came back together. Gerald was convicted. He took a plea deal. 8 years in prison for elder abuse, fraud, and forgery. Diane received 5 years for conspiracy. The nursing home was shut down. Helen lost her license and faced her own criminal charges. Dr. Palmer lost his medical license and is facing fraud charges. Justice was served. But more importantly, I found myself again. I sit on my porch on a beautiful autumn morning, a cup of coffee in my hand and a book in my lap. The leaves are turning gold and red. The air is crisp. Emma and Lucas are still asleep inside. It is a Saturday. My phone rings. It is Emma calling from upstairs. "Grandma, can you make pancakes for breakfast?" I smile. "Of course, honey." I go inside and start cooking. Lucas comes downstairs, still in his pajamas, hair sticking up. "Morning, Grandma." "Good morning, sweetheart." Emma joins us. We eat breakfast together, talking about their plans for the day. Emma wants to go shopping with friends. Lucas has soccer practice. Normal life. Beautiful, ordinary, normal life. After breakfast, I sit on the porch again while they get ready. I think about everything that has happened. I learned that blood does not always mean loyalty. I spent 45 years loving my son unconditionally, and he betrayed me without hesitation. But I also learned that I am stronger than I ever knew. When everything was stripped away, when I was at my lowest, I found the courage to fight back. Money revealed Gerald's true character, but it also gave me the tools to protect myself and others. I could have been bitter. I could have let what he did destroy me. Instead, I chose to use my pain for something good. I used some of the lottery money to start a foundation. It helps elderly people who are victims of abuse. We provide legal assistance, temporary housing, counseling. In the first 6 months, we have helped 43 people escape situations like mine. Every person I help heals a small part of what Gerald broke. And my grandchildren taught me that the next generation does not have to repeat the sins of their parents. Emma and Lucas have good hearts. They were lied to and manipulated, but when they learned the truth, they chose love over loyalty to their father's cruelty. I am 65 years old. I thought my life was ending when Gerald left me in that nursing home. Instead, it was just beginning. I have friends now, I have purpose, I have peace. And I have something Gerald will never understand. I have integrity. If you are facing betrayal by someone you love, know this. You are stronger than you think. Do not let anyone make you feel powerless. Fight for yourself with everything you have. And when you win, use your victory to help others who are still fighting. As for Gerald, I hope someday he understands what he lost. Not the money, but the mother who would have loved him until her last breath, if only he had let her. Emma comes out onto the porch, ready to go shopping. Grandma, do you need anything from the store? No, honey. Just be safe and have fun. She hugs me. I love you, Grandma. I love you too. She leaves, and I watch her walk down the driveway. Lucas comes out next with his soccer bag. See you later, Grandma. Play well. He grins and jogs off toward his friend's house. I sit back in my chair, the morning sun warm on my face. I think about that day in the nursing home when I checked my lottery ticket, how my hands shook, how scared and trapped I felt. I think about how that ticket gave me more than money. It gave me a second chance at life. Not everyone gets that. Not everyone who suffers abuse and betrayal comes out the other side. Some people do not survive it, physically or emotionally. I am one of the lucky ones, and I am not going to waste this chance. I have plans. Emma wants to go to college. Lucas wants to study architecture. I am going to make sure they have every opportunity I can give them. I am going to travel, see places I have never been. I am going to write a book about my experience. I am going to live fully and joyfully, because that is the best revenge. Not making Gerald suffer, though he is suffering plenty in prison. The best revenge is living well, being happy, proving that he did not break me. I survived. I won. And I am using my victory to make the world a little bit better. That is enough. I pick up my book and start to read, the autumn breeze rustling the pages. A neighbor waves from across the street. I wave back. A dog barks in the distance. Somewhere, a lawnmower starts up. It is just another Saturday morning in my new life, and it is perfect. Now I want to ask you something. Have you ever been betrayed by someone you trusted completely? How did you find the strength to move forward? I would love to hear your story in the comments below. Your experience might help someone else who is going through something similar. If this story touched your heart or made you think about family, loyalty, and second chances, please hit that like button. It really helps more people find these stories. And if you want to hear more true stories about overcoming hardship and finding hope, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Please share this story with someone who might need to hear it. Maybe someone who is going through their own struggle with family. Maybe someone who needs to know that it is possible to rebuild your life, even when everything seems lost. Your share could be exactly what someone needs today. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I know it was not easy to hear at times, but I hope it showed you that even in our darkest moments, there is always a path forward. There is always hope, and there is always the possibility of a new beginning. Take care of yourselves and each other. Remember to stand up for what is right, protect the vulnerable, and never let anyone make you feel powerless. You are stronger than you know. Until next time, may you find peace in your journey and joy in your days.